Do you watch TV in your RV? This is the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt. She's right here sitting next to me. We also have a special guest in the audience tonight, Jason from RV Life. He is our number one fan. So he's here with us today as well. Today's guest on our show is responsible for bringing programming to the new TV network called RVTV. He is focused on RV audience awareness. How many people in the audience today, how many of you have ever watched TV? I'll bet you I get 100% on that. Sir, have you ever watched TV? Here and there, yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay, now Dan and I have been full-time for over 2.5 years. And, you know, there's nights you want to watch TV. And I love the idea of RVTV, TV for RVers. I'm really excited about this. Dan and I travel across the country, and we love bringing information to our audience. And today it's going to be awesome. Now, we are, as Dan said, in Hershey, Pennsylvania at the America's largest RV show, and we are excited to be here. We are in the Freightliner tent, and they've welcomed us every day this week, and it has been awesome being in front of a live audience.
We have to just send our kudos out to Jeff and his team at Freightliner. It has been absolutely incredible to be able to do the RV Life Podcast live right from the Midway here at America's largest RV show, the Hershey RV Show. Now, that sound, that's one of my favorite sounds in the whole wide world. That is the sound of my air horns in my RV, and it means it's time for today's fun fact, which is brought to you by Open Road Resorts with 4 great locations in Montana, Utah, and Texas.
And every week we talk about Open Road Resorts because they have 4 amazing locations. Dan and I will be heading to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, and from there we will be staying at the Dallas NE location right outside Dallas, Texas. And it just sounds amazing. Can't wait to get in there with our cameras and share it with our audience. But for today's fun fact, if you have an older RV, chances are you have at least 2 TVs in your RV. But if you bought a newer model, chances are you have 3 or 4. And I have people in the audience shaking their head. They just bought a brand new RV and it has 4 TVs in their RV.
I just don't understand why in the world does anyone, including me, need 4 TVs in their RV that's less than 500 square feet. 4 of them. Now, I can answer that, manufacturers, they like to put a TV outside. And that's great if you're going to watch a football game or a baseball game. You can just sit out in the evening and watch TV. The gentleman across the way, there we go. We got some of our favorite YouTube channels walking by in front of us here at the America's largest RV show. So that's one outside. Now, almost every RV that I've ever been in, except, of course, the gentleman sitting in the front row and told me about his RV, has an RV between the passenger seat and the driver's seat in that cabinet up in front. Yeah, almost every RV has that.
I think the newer ones have stopped doing that because it's like we do have that in the front of ours, and there's nowhere to sit that you could actually see it. So that TV in the front, so we're talking about in a Class A, between the driver passenger seat. And
there's nowhere to sit that you can look at that TV.
Yes, no, it's
so not. That TV is out of there. We took it out and we picked up a whole bunch of storage for Patty's shoes. Yay!
There are no shoes behind that TV, but I will tell you where I have my shoes. And you know what else is great for people that have TVs outside? Movie nights with the kids, being out there. And today we're going to talk about some other TV content that you're going to be able to watch that's specifically for RVers So I'm excited to get into today's topic.
Now, the newer RVs, the new thing is to put a television on a televator directly across from the couch where we have our theater seating. So that televator TV will go up and down when you need it. And that is the new thing. As a matter of fact, some friends of ours that are in a fifth wheel right behind us, they have a televator TV that goes up and down from their couch. So that is 3 TVs. The fourth TV is usually in the bedroom. And everybody likes to just zone out and watch America's Got Talent or something like that as you're going to sleep every night. That is something that will put you to sleep. So that's normally where the 4 TVs. Now, some coach manufacturers, Tiffin is one of them, they have taken that TV out from the front between the passenger and the driver's seat, and they've moved it to the back wall in the kitchen where the ugly mirrors usually are. So that's where they have put that 4th TV. And in some RVs that I've been in, they've actually left them both there. So there's 5 TVs in there. Absolutely nuts to me.
For sure.
Okay, with that, I'm going to take us to break and talk a little bit about RV Trip Wizard, our name sponsor.
Your RV, how do you navigate? Do you use a paper map, a GPS, or do you use Google Maps? Our sponsor, RV Trip Wizard, has the solution, and it just works.
It just works. Patty and I do not move our RV 1 inch without RV Trip Wizard. I have some people in the audience today that he said, I think I have that. I'm not sure, but that's a pretty cool app. I think I have that app. So we're going to make sure that he gets a copy of that app right after this show. You're listening to the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt. She's sitting right next to me here. And today's guest, well, RV awareness is what is on the network. Streaming, it's a streaming platform of Comcast. RVTV is a network of stations that goes out on over 75 stations throughout the country in different markets. It's on, I can't say this ever right,
Roku. Is that
Roku. Amazon Fire will be up and coming soon, and they are producing a bunch of new shows like RVers Got Talent. It's kind of a show like going to be done like Funniest Home Videos and America's Got Talent, where they're going to go out and they're going to look at RVers that can sing and that can dance and can do magic. Those are all the things that we do on America's Got Talent. So it's going to be very similar to that, but it's RVers Got Talent. And as I look out across the thousands of people that are here at the Hershey RV Show, I know some of them have some talent. That woman right there, she can dance.
Today's guest is Dan Dominski, VP of Content Programming Partnerships. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Welcome to the RV Life Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, Dan and Patty.
You're welcome. It's so great to actually be sitting next to you while talking to you. Usually we do this virtually, so it's awesome to have you. So now I just want to let our listeners know, first of all, are you an RVer?
I will be soon.
You will be soon. Tell us that there's a story there for sure. Tell us that story.
So the network actually started with my love of watching YouTube RV content and like camping with Steve, and so that's where it all kind of came from, and it went from there. So there's a lot to come.
So let's understand. You started watching YouTube content, and now you want to get in an RV. You're going to do full-time, part-time? What's that going to look like?
A trip or two.
A trip or two. Okay. So where do you want to go?
There.
Okay, let's start there. So do you have the RV yet?
So when I was here at the Hershey Show, I've met with some people, and getting it narrowed down to, I'm limited in the size that I can tow, so getting that figured out.
Okay, so you're figuring it out. You'll go out on trips. Sounds exciting. Where's the first place you think you want to go?
I was thinking the East Coast, but by the time it started, it might be, out west.
Okay. We've been there, so we could certainly talk about that.
Down in the South in Texas when they're shooting next season's RVTV too, right? You're going to want to go down and boondock with them down there, right?
You mean RV Unplugged? Is that
RV Unplugged, yeah.
RV Unplugged,
Yeah, that'd be great to see.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys with RV Unplugged, which will be featured next year on the RVTV Network. Okay, let's get a little bit behind where RVTV came from. So you were watching YouTube channels like Exploring Through Our Lens, and you said, wow, that's really good. We need to make a network, a TV station out of that.
So originally we had a automotive-themed television network, and COVID didn't make that go very well. To put it, kindly, it was a great idea, and so we were looking for, an industry that had a lot of competition in manufacturing, a lot of people who are passionate about, the life, and the RV industry just jumped out. And then when I just kind of looked at the YouTube community, kind of runs the marketing for the entire industry in all my viewing of YouTube videos. So we kind of made friends with a lot of the top YouTube content creators for the past year, and we have the kind of the best of the best on the network, and that's kind of what where it came from.
Okay, now I'm just going to take an informal survey right here with our studio audience. Have you ever watched a YouTube video on RV?
Yes.
Yes. Is that where you learned your basis of RVing?
Yes. So pretty much, and my husband, he watches it and shares it.
He watches it and then he shares it with you. Okay.
So most people, I'm sure, would say, yes, they get most of their content. So you've got most of your content from YouTube. Explain how the RVTV, you explained to us, cool idea, how you're going to get content on RVTV.
So we work with all the top YouTubers. These nice folks right here, they're one of the great YouTubers that we work with. And, we really try to vary the content. So we have everything you could possibly think of, is covered already. It's already made. You don't have to reproduce it. People are watching it. So it just kind of made sense to let's get this out to as many people as possible who aren't necessarily on YouTube, or, maybe just have seen one or two people, but now they're being introduced to 10 or 15 more. So yeah, it's a neat concept.
And that's a great idea. And that's where in the edification, Dan said it's sort of like Funniest Home Videos. And for those who've never seen that, Funniest Home Videos, people would submit their video and they made a whole show out of, not producing their own content really. They had these videos come in. So it's sort of like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, in part, it's, we're going to have shows that kind of use, that concept. And then, we actually have episodic, times during the, prime time. So you're going to have different shows on prime time from, all the top creators. And so, yeah, it's a neat variety of stuff.
Can you give us some of the content that's out there? Because it's already out there. This isn't new. It's out there. So give us some of the content as we were talking about it. There's such a variety because obviously, people are so different in what they want to see and hear and who they want to listen to.
Right.
So can you give us some of the content that'll be out there?
Yeah, I mean, the different categories, we'll focus on new RV reviews and comparisons. So we have, great creators like Miles RV, who does just amazing.
RV Miles, it's Jason and Abby.
So there's Jason and Abby. We also have them. And then there's Miles RV.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a younger couple. I just ran into him at the show today, and they're really up and coming. And then we also, like you said, Jason and Abby from RV Miles. We have them on the network.
Now, I think I read that you just signed Matt from Matt's RV, and he just walked by behind us just now.
Yeah, we're excited to add Matt to the lineup of, and again, on that genre, the RV reviewers.
Right.
So we really have the best of the best, in that category.
Why don't you give us more of those? Because I think this is important for our audience.
Absolutely.
I know you have a list of them.
so that we'll do, new model features. So, what's different for this year? Why should you buy something new? Destinations for RV travel that are kind of, special or up and coming. RV lifestyle, family travel, homeschooling, all that stuff is so important that people are interested in. Renovations, how-tos, DIY stuff, newest camping accessories, so all just different kinds of shows that will focus on all different things that people are interested in. Newest technology, RV sharing, and RV rentals is huge for people who are looking to get into the lifestyle for the first time. So yeah, so pretty much everything across, and there's so much great content from YouTubers out there that's already done that, that hundreds of thousands of people watch and enjoy. So
that's awesome. It sounds like a wide range, like I said before, something for everybody.
Everybody that's an RVer. Now, you said you like to focus on some of the new things that have been introduced into the business. And you were here on Media Day when Freightliner, right over there, about 15 feet from us, introduced the V-Series suspension system. And that's a new product that they're bringing to the marketplace. They introduced it here on day one of America's largest RV show. So that's something that would be really interesting down the road, because one of the things they have, and everybody's heard me talk about it a million times, that steering tag axle. Boy, I'll tell you what, I love that thing. It is just the cat's meow. We're going to go to break right now, and after the break, we're going to talk about how to find RVTV, and we're going to ask you, as the audience, as RVers, do you have a talent? Do you think you could make it on America's Got Talent? Well, guess what? RVTV is coming out with a show called RVers Got Talent. And that's going to be broadcast over the whole country and let the country decide if you have talent or not. So we'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about what's new for next year coming up on RVTV.
Does dropping your motor coach off at the truck stop full of semi-trailers for new tires give you nightmares? Eliminate the unknown and get your new motorhome tires mounted while you watch at your campsite or wherever you are parked. Motorhometires.com takes care of the entire process for you. We come to you with your new tires, mount them, add balance beads, and we even dispose of your old tires. With motorhometires.com, you'll also enjoy great prices and new tires with guaranteed fresh date codes, and enjoy sweet dreams instead of truck stop nightmares with your friends at motorhometires.com.
Protecting your RV investment means being ready for anything. An extended RV warranty from Wholesale Warranties is the best way to make sure that if an RV failure happens, you can afford to get back to enjoying the RV life as soon as possible. RV warranties are available for motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers, new and used, across the U.S. Visit wholesalewarranties.com for a free personalized RV warranty quote today and hit the road with peace of mind tomorrow.
Peace of mind when you have your RV, an RV warranty. Now, Jeff is here at the show. He was at the RV Life Live event last night, which was very, very successful. Sold out event. If you're an RVer, you want to be at that event next year at America's largest RV show, the Hershey RV Show. Okay, Dan, we talked about how to find RVTV. That was our first question. How can our listeners find RVTV?
So the easiest way is to go to our website, rvtv.tv. Just click on the Where to Watch button.
Now, there will be a link to that in the show notes below.
But that is rvtv.tv. I want to make sure people heard that.
rvtv.tv. You can also download us or find us on Roku currently. So you just search RVTV, look for our RV logo, and you can download us and watch us live all day long. We'll also be up live on Amazon Fire in the next week or two. We're just in their final queue setup. And then we're working on all kinds of distribution deals through our parent company, Canella Media. So we'll have distribution in many, many more places as we go into 24.
And again, I'll be honest, for me, when I want to watch TV or whatever, Dan sets it up. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how it's working. But what I'm hearing is there'll be a lot of other places for RVers to find RVTV in the coming months and year.
Yeah, for sure. Across really
both broadcast and streaming services.
Yeah, broadcast and streaming. We just added a broadcast channel in Washington, D.C. and Boston that'll be coming on in the next week on the broadcast side. And, we're aggressively adding streaming platforms. We added Zumo for 24. Zumo's the streaming platform for Comcast, which is the largest cable company out there. So, all of these big cable companies and DirecTV and Dish, they're all going to streaming platforms. And that's what we're really focusing on. And then the DirecTV channel lineup and Dish and Sling and YouTube TV and all of those things will be in the cards for us soon. So
it sounds like you really took what the RV community wants and needs and are putting it out there to them. It's one thing for somebody to say, okay, we have this TV station, a channel, and then RVers can't necessarily get to it. You've really listened to the RVers and what we're looking for.
That's really what we base everything we do off of is what people are interested in. And we're able to, because of the variety of people that we work with, somebody has something popular, we're able to, pivot and get it on the air and do what the market people, are interested in. And, and on the flip side is help travel boards with free advertising and just a lot of stuff like that to help the community, grow with people who might not have the ability to advertise on television. We like to work with smaller places as well.
That's awesome. Now I have been waiting to talk to you about RV Unplugged. Now Dan and I watched it. So can you talk to our listeners that maybe haven't seen the first season, the connection with RVTV and RV Unplugged, and talk about RV Unplugged?
Yeah, so RV Unplugged was put on by the National RV Training Academy, and it's a great reality-based survivor-type RV show that took RV content creators and just like a survivor-type show. It was really well done. It was fun, and we're excited to start airing that September 25th, season 1. We'll air episode 1 that day, and then when the new season comes out over the summer, we'll be airing season 2 as well.
Okay, awesome. So you got the scoop right here on the RV Life podcast that RV Unplugged will be premiering last year's season on September 25th at 7 o'clock on RVTV. And next year's season, the season that they're going to start shooting fairly soon, you'll be airing that.
We'll be airing that more in real time.
More in real time. So you're going to be airing it as they're airing it on YouTube. You're going to be airing it on RVTV.
Yes.
Okay, now there's another new show that you have in development right now, and that's called RVers Got Talent.
Yeah, so we took, again, and everything is just based on what's popular, right? People are interested in shows like that. So it's a talent show, essentially. People send in whatever their talent is. It could be a magician, a singer, a dancer.
I'll tell you what, Patty and I have a talent that's going to win the whole darn show, because that talent is backing a 40-foot RV into a tight spot, having Patty be the director on the outside. She's actually the director, tells me what to do, and we stay married. That is the talent that I have right there.
Knock that out in 2 minutes or less. I think that would be a great show. We'll let the viewers decide if it wins or not.
Right.
So people submit their talents and that on our website, and then each week it's voted on by the viewers with QR codes, and whoever gets the most votes that episode move on to the finals, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, walking by right now, you want to talk about a family that's got talent. RVFamily.life is walking by the booth right now. I got to tell you, these people can sing, they can dance, they can park RVs, they can do anything that you ask them to do, and they will always do it in front of a camera. But remember, it's got to be less than 2 minutes, and you got to get me to vote yes on it. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
So they're walking by the booth, and they're not sure what we're talking about. And we're talking to RVTV about RVers Got Talent. So if you guys have talent, you could submit to be on RVers Got Talent on RVTV. So think about talent. You have some time for it. So this is really cool. Now, when I watch, and I want to dive into this a little further if it's okay, because America's Got Talent has such a varying, you got people hanging from wires and stuff. So you guys are willing to take anything.
I mean, as long as it is RV or camping based.
Right.
We've had submissions, everything from, people, singing like barbershop quartet around the table in their camper to, people doing full concerts, in the desert, and, just amazing stuff. So it's really going to be a great show. Okay.
So great show. They need to be 2 minutes or less. And anything that's RV related, and it sounds really cool. Now, who's going to vote on the winner? Because sometimes I sit and watch America's Got Talent. I can't believe people voted on that. So who gets to vote?
It's going to be voted on with QR codes in real time. So, each episode gets voted on, and then at the end of the week before the next episode airs, whoever has the most votes that week wins that week. After 8 weeks, the top 8 are, go against each other, and then the winner will be announced, and it'll be somewhere interesting.
So I get to vote on it. I get to yell at the TV, yell at people, and then vote.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now I do want to say that RV Unplugged, we had Tony and Todd who are from NRVTA.
Yes.
Great Academy, right?
All the letters. They were on the show, and then as we were watching RV Unplugged, we actually got to talk to the winner before the winner was announced. And as soon as the winner was announced, they were actually on the RV Life podcast. And it was just really cool to hear their experience with it. Sounds like a great thing. Now, RV Unplugged for season 2, I do believe they're already filled with people. They're not taking.
Yes, yeah. We're going to be, once they get everything in place, we're going to be working with as many of the newest contestants as we can to build up recognition and
awareness and audience.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. And we work with them as much as we can. We'll have some of the contestants on the RV Life podcast. We'll talk to the producers again. Nice. They're going to bring a director on, and they're going to bring a production company in. Yeah. So we'll talk to those guys and talk about how things are changing this year. We even talked to a couple of last year contestants here at the Hershey RV show. Not the winners, the losers were here.
But it was really cool to hear the behind the scenes of things.
Right. We're excited to have, air that, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole show of outtakes for that one.
Right.
Okay.
That would be awesome. People want to see that. Outtakes are great. That sounds good. Okay, good. I'm glad you'll have that because we love the outtakes. And Dan and I know all too well the outtakes when you are, like when we're doing video on our YouTube channel, outtakes can be more, funnier and more entertaining than this show.
Right.
Okay. I just want to say again, RVTV, that can be reached on rvtv.tv. How about social media? You guys have that going on?
Yeah. Instagram is RVTV_TV. And we have lots of good stuff on there. Facebook is the same. And those are the two that we basically focus on.
Right. So on the social media, you want to hear from people that have ideas, thoughts, suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. We, just anything that, any idea, you just never know where it's going to lead, or every person you meet, you don't know what will come of it. So I like to talk to everybody, and not everything is it's airable or televisable event, but.
Well, Dan, I got to tell you, I have you in my speed dial because I come up with ideas every single night when I put my head on that pillow. I've got ideas after ideas after ideas. Now, we also talked about what's up next for RVTV. Well, we kind of talked about the 2 shows that are coming up. Any other big announcements that are coming up? You got any big deals in the works or things happening?
We have a lot of stuff that we're, just not quite there on. We've added some great advertisers. The National Indoor RV Center is the exclusive Class A dealer for the network. So they're going to be, a great partner to work with. And then AC Nelson RV Center is going to be our trophy.
That's great. I'm sorry, who was that dealer you said?
The first one, the National Indoor RV Center.
National Indoor RV. They are a gold sponsor of the RV Life podcast. So it's nice that we have something in common there.
So. And I will say, with sponsorship, it's what keeps things going. And I just, sometimes, and we have sponsors for the show, you have sponsors for your show. I love what you said, that you're only going to choose one per category.
Yeah, we don't want to, flood the market with, or flood the channel with constant RV, sale.
Yeah, RV sales. No.
Right. Yeah. So we're, kind of taking it in categories. So we'll have a Class A dealer, we'll have a Class C dealer, towables, and then a fifth wheel. There's so many neat teardrop manufacturers and Class B dealers that make such interesting things that we want to be able to focus on a lot of different types of those, but kind of narrow down the focus with the dealers on the other.
That's great, and that's what keeps us, channels and podcasts and TV. It keeps us going, and I like that you've narrowed it down so it's not, constantly being hit with the same type of things. This is just such an exciting idea. When we started out RVing, I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking a whole lot about TV. But now it's almost essential. You want to see what's going on. You want to see what other people are doing. You want to see the YouTubers out there, or influencers, call them what you want. You want to see their reviews. There's so many, things that you do want to watch, for Dan and I being full time. We want to see. And, we were talking about it before, and you said there's like a gamut of things. There's somebody that might not resonate with Dan and I, a full-time family with kids. Dan and I don't have kids on the road. So you have that gamut of different types of shows for a little bit for everybody, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's really what we're focusing on, getting kind of the best. And, it's not based on followers necessarily. We have people that have 10,000 followers that do amazing content, and it goes all the way up. So it really is, what's put out, the topic that's that's being covered, and that's really kind of what we focus on, and then let it kind of evolve from there.
That sounds great.
You're listening to the RV Life podcast. We are live at the Hershey RV Show, America's largest RV show. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt. She's right here next to me. Our guest today, Dan Domonsky of RVTV. He's the VP of Content Programming. And we'll be back right after this.
The most important part of your RV is the roof. If your roof leaks, your trip and your RV get ruined. You can take it to a dealership or service center to be maintained at their expensive rates. Or you can maintain it yourself over a weekend for a fraction of the cost. Liquid Rubber RV roof products will keep you dry and leak-free. Visit shopliquidrubber.com/RVLife. Use coupon code RVLifePod15 off to save 15%. That's shopliquidrubber.com/RVLife.
National Indoor RV Centers with over 1,000 motorhomes available across multiple locations. National Indoor RV Centers continues to provide an outstanding hassle-free motorhome ownership experience. National Indoor is the #1 Newmar dealer in the nation and also features brands like Integra, Winnebago, and much more. Visit NIRVC.com and become a part of the National Indoor RV Centers family.
National Indoor RV Centers family, and Dan and I definitely feel a part of that family for sure. They have taken us in, and so for Dan and I think Dan Domonsky as well, too many Dans here, I think sponsors and people that we connect with are people we truly connect with. So same thing with National Indoor RV Centers. There's 6 locations throughout the country, and the people there are amazing. So working with them and connecting with them is to us the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, we partnered with them in the beginning just to get content. When we first started out, that's what we struggled to get is interesting content. They put out such good just walk-arounds and reviews of their products. So once the opportunity came to sponsor the network, they jumped on it. It was great. So yeah, so we're excited for, usually the hardest thing about anything is selling and that hasn't been. We have just so much interest. It's been great. So that's taken a lot of pressure off and let us focus on bringing in the newest and best content creators and focusing on where it should be focused.
That's great.
I will tell you, working with NIRBC, Brett and Angie and Chuck and the whole team over there, it's like working with your own family. And we had a family crisis where Patty's mom had to go into hospice care in Virginia. And they allowed us, when Brett heard about that, he said, bring your rig over to our Manassas store and just park it there. So that's what we did, is we spent 4 months with our rig in the Manassas store in storage while we were able to take care of Patty's mom in her last days of life. Just classy, strong people. I cannot say enough about Brett, Angie, Chuck, and the whole team over at National Indoor.
Yeah, truly amazing.
Truly, just absolutely amazing people. Now, that sound means it's time for our RV Life Pro Tip of the Week.
One of the handiest buttons on your RV Life Trip Wizard map is the Show Entire Trip button. Rather than zooming in and out frequently, especially on a touch device like an iPad, you can quickly see your entire trip by pressing the Show Entire Trip button. It seems obvious, but often in haste or habit, we forget to use the simplest button on the screen. Use this simple and efficient tool to make your trip planning even better. For RV Life, I'm Pat Buchanan with your Pro Tip of the Week.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Sometimes we try to find the harder way to do something that's right in front of us.
That's why I love
especially when it comes to software.
Yeah, and especially for me when it comes to software, because that is not my thing. I tried to find the easiest way, but sometimes it is the way I've always done it, and it's not the easiest. Patrick Buchanan, thank you so much for coming on every week with a tip for our RV Trip Wizard users. I don't know what we do without these tips. So now, we did say we are at the Hershey event. At the recording of this, we've recorded it live, and it is going out after the Hershey event. And I just want to say that our next stop is Albuquerque at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. Have you ever been, Dan?
I have not. I've heard a lot of people talking about it in the last few months.
Yeah, so
it seems amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. It has to be put. When people say put it on your bucket list, and some people have this bucket list and then they never really check things off of it. It's got to be put on the bucket list and checked off, because It is truly amazing. Dan and I were there 2 years ago. I highly recommend it to everybody. I think it is sold out. I'm sure it's sold out this year. So you might want to plan for next year, but definitely a bucket list item.
Well, also, you can keep listening to the RV Life podcast, because I have planned something spectacular. We are actually going to record an episode of the RV Life podcast while we're flying a hot air balloon at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. We are going to interview the pilot as we take off with 80 of our closest friends into the skies of Albuquerque. And we are going to give you a bird's eye view on our social media of that. So we're looking forward to doing that in just 2 weeks from now, right?
I think it is. It's about the beginning of October. So it starts October 7th. So yeah, it's just right around the corner.
Okay, so I am going to come right back here and go. That sound means it's time for today's question of the week. And today we have a live question from our studio audience. Here
I'm going to start talking because I never know what Dan's going to do. So he has left the studio. He is on a wireless mic.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second here? We are live on the RV Life podcast. Now I'm going to ask you.
He went up to a guy, and the guy does not want to speak.
What is the number one question you've been asked here at America's largest RV show, Super Show? I'm speaking to one of the sales reps here at Freightliner. It's Jason. Jason, so you're telling me that Freightliner has a network of service locations in every single state in the United States and quite a few in Canada up there as well. Wow, that is absolutely incredible. So thank you, Jason, for being on the RV Life podcast today.
And as we said, we do want to, while Dan's getting back to his seat, we do want to thank Freightliner, and they call it FCCC Freightliner Custom Chassis Corporation, for having us in the booth this week at the show. They have opened up their tent and allowed us to do the show live, and we want to thank Freightliner for doing that.
Yes, so much. As a matter of fact, Freightliner V-Series suspension system that was introduced just 2 days ago is the sponsor of this segment, the question of the week this week. So we want to thank them for being here. And
I actually have a question, because as I'm walking around, I have the same question that's come up, and I did promise our listeners that I would ask it on the podcast and get it answered. And that is where I could get discounts on either diesel or gas. That has been a big question over the last 3 days. Are there discounts? Obviously, we're driving around. We need discounts for Dan and I on diesel and or those gas vehicles.
okay, this is an unpaid spot because
this is
last night,
do you know the answer?
TSD card, Open Road, right?
Open Road.
Open Road is the name of the company, but they have a card called the TSD card, diesel card.
No, it's actually Open Roads now. So
they changed the name to Open Roads.
I asked her about that. The owners of Open Roads were there yesterday, Gina and her husband. I am so sorry, I can't think of his name. I always deal with Gina. She is fantastic. Open Roads has bought the side of it where RVers can get a diesel card. And their card is absolutely free. You have diesel, so you get the card for free. You attach to your bank account. You go on their app, and you can see a map of gas stations across the country and what the diesel price is at the time. It is fantastic. It has saved us so much money. Dan, have you heard of this card?
I have not. No.
Okay, Dan, you need to.
We got to introduce you to this lady.
Yes.
She's incredible.
It is an amazing card.
I have to tell you, there is nothing better when you're driving a motorhome and you're down, your gas is down or your diesel's down below that half a tank. So that's my empty. When it gets to that half a tank, I want gas, and I want it now. So we drive in to a gas station, and on the sign outside, it says the price of gas is $5. But on our app, it says you can get gas today for $4.09. Well, that was the last one we did. So
okay, yeah, you definitely
$4.09 on a $5. That was absolutely incredible. We have saved so much money by using the Open Road gas card. We use what we call the TSD card. It's a silver card.
Actually,
that's what they called it before.
Right.
That's and they've rebranded their card. So.
And I need to talk to her because they do have the Open Roads cards now. So I'm not sure if we're going to get the new card, because it is all Open Roads now, so not to confuse things. But if you don't have diesel and you want to save on gas, use Gas Buddies. And that is whether you just need gas for your car or your RV. Again, you sign up, you give them the information, and you will save on gas. And that's for anybody and everybody. Most people have at least one vehicle that has gas. So that is another savings. This is a question we have been asked so many times over the last 3 days. I promised our listeners we would talk about it. So what's coming up next?
Gas Buddy, I got to say, we are affiliates of Gas Buddy. There's a discount code in the notes below. We are affiliates.
Okay, Dan, tell me something I didn't know, but I will find it and put it in the notes. Okay, so wrapping up, as I said, we will be heading to Albuquerque. We are going 1,844 miles in 17 days.
Terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, not terrible. That's
Dan Dominski. Am I saying your name right? Okay. Who has not been RVing, saying that's not bad.
I mean, we drove from Banff, Canada to Milwaukee in the drive. So
how many days is that? How many hours? I mean, miles. I'm sorry.
23 just straight driving.
23 straight driving hours.
Well, if
That's
you use
insane.
RV Trip Wizard, that is definitely outside the red box of what you're allowed to drive in one day.
And if you don't know what the red box is that he's referring to, you got to check out RV Trip Wizard. That sounds insane to me, I got to say, Dan.
But that's why 1,800 miles in 17 days sounds easy.
I got you now.
There's a middle ground somewhere in there.
Yeah, it doesn't
There
sound
is a
so
middle ground
bad.
somewhere. I'll tell you what, we have crisscrossed this country 4 times now.
Wow.
From one side to the other. We left Las Vegas and we got to Philadelphia where our family and some grandkids were. And the day that we got there, the CW network called and said, come on back to Las Vegas. We want to start shooting a show. And we hightailed it back, and we got back in 3 days from Philadelphia back to Las Vegas. That is rocking and rolling across the country.
Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Not a good idea, at least for us.
Yeah, it's too much. We talk about enjoying the journey, like taking 23 hours, you win on that.
Yeah,
that's just wanting to get home.
Yeah, that's wanting to get home. I want to get home in one piece, though. So
at about the 22-hour mark, it was feeling like a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm sure. So some of the things on the show we talk about is what not to do.
Okay, so Dan, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show today, and the best of luck with RVTV as you roll out onto more stations through this year and next year. So we're looking forward to that. I'm Dan Hunt, and this is the RV Life Podcast. I'm here with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt, and our guest, Dan Davensky from RVTV. I want to remind each and every one of you to have a great rest of today.
And an even better day tomorrow.